Welcome to the Stuff and Junk Show. We share our opinions on random subjects from interesting news, social topics, pop culture, our likes and dislikes. Things you've seen, heard, or read to what we did and what we do. You know, stuff and junk. Hello, my name is Albert.
Hey now, it's Jiaming.
This is Anna.
So I want to talk about the surprise movie hit of the summer, and that is...
Wait, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Let me read you the introduction by saying, "Hi Barbie,
Hi, Barbie.
hi Ken."
Hi, Ken.
See, no, somebody's no fun. You know what I'm saying, Anna?
Come
somebody's a
on,
party
get in
pooper.
character.
I know,
Jeez,
certainly.
Alan.
I know.
Well, the
We
thing
know
is,
who the Alan is.
the thing is, though, is you're kind of stepping over my joke. You're stepping over my joke.
Are you serious? You can do that?
Oh my God.
Oh.
No, that's not it. Anyways, here, let me try this again.
All right, here we go.
I want to talk about the surprise movie hit of the summer, and that is Sound of Freedom.
Oh Jesus.
Okay.
I'm so mad about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways,
There's
that
not
is
a problem. There's not a problem what a white man can't solve without a gun. You know what I'm saying? Come on now.
Damn white people.
If a white person has a gun, problem solved.
Yeah.
But with that said, we are going to be talking about Barbie. Now, on that note, we are going to be talking about Barbie after the recommendations because we are going to go on spoilers, right? So we're going to do the recommendations first, guys, if you're okay with that. Like you have a choice. So let's go ahead and give our 7 listeners some recommendations for this week before we head to our Barbie talk. Jiaming.
Okay, I'm gonna recommend the best horror movie I saw this year. One of the best movies I saw this year. I saw a little Australian movie called Talk to Me. Talk to Me in a real simplified way. It's about teenage kids getting into seance and hijinks, shenanigans ensue. And I saw it over the weekend, and it's just wonderful. It's just fantastic. You know what I mean? It's a brisk 130 minute. The movie just moves. There's a nice pacing,
Yeah.
a lot of nice energy. The camera, the composition, all that stuff is just wonderful and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Big thumbs up. Talk to me.
Agreed. Very creepy movie. Excellent debut from these YouTubers who made this movie. So
Yeah.
really good stuff. Yeah, check it out. Talk to me.
Yeah, the crowd was really into it too, man. The crowd I saw it with, there's 3 or 4 like real kind of not jump scare, but like real big kind of like show stopping or real big set pieces as far as like scare you and stuff like that. And it really worked. Yeah, big thumbs up.
Yeah, and I think the one thing I also appreciate about this movie is that it acknowledges that this is the social media era. So even though these kids, you see it in the trailer, even though these kids are dealing with the supernatural, their phones are out, they're filming. Because heck, if I saw something supernatural in real life, my phone will be out, I will be filming. Like,
Yeah, I've seen a couple of horror movies. It's not I've mentioned this before, but horror is not really my favorite genre and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I've seen a couple this year. Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah.
Boogeyman. I've seen a couple of. This is the most modern, the most contemporary, and it just like I said, the really impressive thing about this is like it moves at a really nice pace and stuff like that. The other horror movies I just mentioned, they love to show you how gory it is, how scary it is. You know what I mean? The scenes are just like you know what I mean? This one has really nice pacing and energy and confidence. I really like this movie a lot. Big thumbs up. Yeah.
absolutely. Another hit by A24. And
Yeah. Surprising. But to be fair, this one they bought. You know what I mean? I think it was originally produced and stuff and made in Australia. So shout out to Australia.
shout out to
And also-
Australia. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, hey, did you know who the originator of this idea? I know the writer and the director are 2 brothers, but do you know who originated the idea of this? You'll never guess. He's Australian. Take a guess.
Chris Hemsworth?
Close.
I was going to say that.
There's
I
one
was
degree
going
of
to say that.
there's 1 degree of separation between Chris Hemsworth and this writer.
Hugh
You'll never
Jackman?
guess.
Luke
Hugh Jackman?
Hemsworth.
Hugh Jackman. Yeah. Any more guesses?
How many more Australians do we know? The movie girl, AMC movie girl.
Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman.
Yes, that's right. You got it. She wrote the treatment for this. But no, do you remember Thor Ragnarok? Leading up to Thor Ragnarok, promotion for it, Taika Waititi, Chris Hemsworth did this mockumentary about what Thor's been doing in between movies and stuff like that.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
the roommate, the guy who plays the roommate, I think what's that roommate's name is?
Ethan. It's some white guy.
Yeah, some generic white person's name. But that actor that plays that character, he's the guy who wrote the original treatment for this.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, that's-
I'm so proud of him.
This is
Yeah.
this is quite the trivia here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Quite a FYI. By the way, a little bit of trivia. Yeah.
Yeah.
But big thumbs up. Talk to me.
All right. Anna, what is your recommendation for the listeners this week?
Well, this sucks because I have been in Vegas last week getting my brain fried. So I really don't have any recommendations aside from make sure you drink water. And that's it. That's all
Any
I got.
fancy restaurants? Any fancy shows?
Oh my gosh. So we did the Wynn buffet.
Mm.
So it's the Wynn Hotel has a buffet, and that is by far the best one on the strip that's left because they've closed down most of them. But that one is worth the money. I really do suggest doing the prepayment and like booking your appointment for it.
Mm.
That way you bypass the long ass line. But other than that, so worth it. I ate like 8 plates of food.
Mm.
And then
What was the damage? Like $80 per person?
No, it was for $50 with
Oh, that's
tax
not
and
bad.
everything. Yeah,
good.
because we did the brunch.
Mhm.
So it was definitely all the food that I could ever eat was so delicious.
And you get a little bit of everything, right? A little prime rib, a little sushi, a little bit,
Yeah,
a little bit something.
sushi, some egg rolls, dumplings, tacos, eggs Benedict, dragon fruit, like everything that you could think. Oh, apparently they had really, really good fancy cheese, according to my friend, who is a cheese expert.
Oh, you didn't partake?
Oh, I did, but I'm not. I just eat it. I don't know exactly what it is, and then she's telling me this is really good, expensive cheese. I'm like, well, yay, it tastes good.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's my recommendation. Go to the Wynn Hotel for the buffet.
All right. My recommendation actually ties into our conversation for this week. So it's like a smash grab of a recommendation here. Don't let your cynicism and being all jaded ruin your enjoyment of things. It's one thing to be critical about what you consume, but sometimes you just want to be entertained. And stop nitpicking about plot details too much. Sometimes they are just there to be there and to be.
Are you talking about Derek?
Well, no, I wasn't thinking about him, but this ties into our conversation about Barbie. All right, so the reason why I want to bring up Barbie here is because I'm not sure if you two have noticed it. Maybe you have. There has been a little bit of the unsurprising backlash against the movie, right? Yes, there is a backlash from the mostly conservative side because they don't.
Let's not deal with them.
Yeah,
those are not. Yeah, they're not making what do you call it, good faith arguments and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but let's go ahead and try and address this real quick. So, is Barbie a man-hating feminist trashy movie? Yes, no.
Let's say yes. Just for fun.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, just for fun. Yes. So what? And so what? What happens? What happens
Anna?
Wow. I mean, that's a question that I didn't think I'd ever have to answer. Yes.
Really?
It leans towards it. I mean, it does. I don't know. It's not that it's man hating. It's, I don't know. It's one of those things where everything I'm going to say is going to come out really wrong. So
that's why you have to lean into absurdity of it all. They're making absurd arguments, so you answer with absurdity. Yes, it absolutely hates men. Men are terrible. You know what I mean? Down with the patriarchy. You know what I mean? Seriously.
Men are horse girls.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Pretty soon, we're gonna have a woman's president. That's how much we hate men and stuff like that.
Yeah, we do. You know, Women's Supreme Court. Oh my God.
So that's your answers for you too. Okay, so for me, I think the man hating and the feminism thing can only go so far. I know Greta Gerwig has said specifically that this is a feminist movie, but at the same time, it also has this self-awareness about feminism in the movie that I noticed, right? So it's not completely feminist, but it is. And yes, there is the whole patriarchy thing, which can be equals men hating. But at the same time, it probably has a good understanding on how men are. And it doesn't necessarily mean...
Not probably. It does.
Okay, well, there we go, right?
It does.
So it's also kind of like not man hating in a way, but more of like, hey guys, you can change for the better.
No, No,
No.
that's not what it's
All right.
saying.
So
No.
in that case,
It
then,
just says guys are stupid.
so in that case, then, my next question for you two,
Mhm.
which Ruthie was in this conversation, but my next question for you two is
Mhm.
what
Thanks a lot,
what
Ruthie.
is or are the themes of this movie? Anna, you're the one that most recently watched it. What would you say are the themes? And I say themes in plural because I think we both understand that we all understand that this follows Barbie and Ken, and both of them have individual themes going on throughout the movie.
So I actually do have a funny story about what happened when I went to go see Barbie.
Okay.
So that can be saved for another time. Albert, I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm not smart. So asking me what these themes are, I have no idea.
All right.
I just go and my brain is off and I'm having a good old grand time. So the themes for me were fun, accepting beautifulness at any age. I don't know. I'm probably we're losing listeners as I speak,
No,
but
no,
I
no.
don't know. I don't know these questions.
I mean, those are themes in the movie. But for me, there is an ongoing theme that kind of carries the narrative. Jiaming, well, go ahead.
Pink.
I just want to go back to the first point and stuff like that. The first point of what do you call it? What do you call it? Greta Gerwig was asked about like, hey, this movie feminist and stuff like that. And the thing is, there's a I don't know, there's I don't know how to say this, but there's an underlying there's something insidious about that question in the sense that it's like, hey, if it's feminist, it's like automatically negative and stuff like that, or there's
Correct.
something like
Yeah.
what do you call it? Which is not. You know, every
Why can't
movie.
it just be a movie?
No, I think every movie should be feminist and stuff like that. It's every movie, every piece of work that's what do you call it? That's created should be pro women. I can't imagine why wouldn't it be pro women. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, women make up more than half of the population, right? And they've been the what do you call it? They also women just in this country specifically only had the right to vote since what the 1920s. You know what I mean? So they weren't chicks weren't full citizens until like the 1920s. Like, what are we talking about? You know what I mean? I was joking earlier about like having women president. What are they? They owe for 40, 50 presidents? I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? It's like, what are we talking about? You know what I mean? It's like they have a lot. Chicks have a lot of ground to make up and stuff like that. Saying something is is feminine and pro women is nothing really kind of like you know, it should be a standard operating system. You know, it's like whatever. You know what I mean? And going back to like, hey, does the movie hates women and stuff like that? Do they hate? I don't mean sorry, hate men and stuff like that. You know what I mean? This tells what do you call it? This ties into one of the themes and stuff like that Albert's asking about. The point of this movie is what do you call it? One of the points of this movie is, hey, patriarchy is bad for both sides. It's bad for men and women.
Yeah.
The Kens in this movie get a taste of patriarchy, and they literally go into war in the third act of the movie. They literally go into war with each other and stuff like that. And the thing is that kind of gets played off as a joke. You know what I mean? It's like, haha, they're pretend fighting and stuff like that. But one of the talking points, I'm talking about the broader conversation about feminism, patriarchy, and also one of the bigger talking points, like misogyny, people with misogyny, the right wing conservative. One of the talking points is like, hey, if men are so terrible, you know, men are the ones that go to war. Men go into war. They go into battles. They go to Vietnam. They go to blah blah blah. It's like the counter is like, hey, who's sending you to war? You know what I mean? Bunch of other guys, bunch of dudes and stuff like that. So the point of this movie and the point of that talking point, with debunking that talking point, is like patriarchy hurts men and women at the same time. It probably hurts men even more because, you know, when it comes to war and stuff, that specific talking point, men gets sent to war by other dudes. So stop. As far as I know, I'm a history major. As far as I know, I can't think of a matriarchal society that's been into war. Can any of you guys? You know, right? So yeah. Anyway, what do you think the movie's about, Albert?
Like I said, I feel like the movie does follow Barbie and Ken, right? For Barbie, I think it is the acceptance that you can't be perfect. You can't be everything, right? I think it is that simple for Barbie. I think, right? She was so focused. By the way, listeners, we are doing spoilers if you haven't guessed by now. She was so focused on trying to still be the perfect stereotypical Barbie, right? And then at the same time she realized, hey, how come I'm just stereotypical Barbie? I'm not President Barbie. I'm not Dr. Barbie and this stereotypical Barbie
Mhm.
thing. She's trying to fight. She's starting to see the flaws in herself, and then at the end, it's okay to be flawed, right? For me, that seemed to be the theme for Barbie, the character, and then for Ken, the theme for Ken is you need to stop relating yourself with women. Like you don't have to. Your whole world can't doesn't always have to revolve around women. You can just be enough. You can be Kenough, right? And that was the whole point of that. You know, Ken is Kenough. He's enough for himself. He doesn't have to be Barbie and Ken. He can just be Ken. And I like that because at the end, Barbie and Ken didn't get together like a lot of people assume they're gonna be, because that will defeat the whole team of Ken. He can be himself, and that's it. Thoughts?
Yeah, yeah. I've seen the movie. Yeah, that's what it's about. Yeah, you know what I mean. I don't think. Here's the thing about this movie. It's very clever. It's obviously very smart and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, all these kind of talking points are kind of weird because this movie wears its heart on its sleeve. It's directly telling you what's about. You know what I mean? There's nothing really exceedingly. I don't. Deep is not the right word, but there's nothing very. What do you call it? It's not very what do you call it, subtle about any of these points. You know what I mean? At one point, America Ferrera just stops the entire movie, gives like a 30-minute monologue. You know what I mean? Which is fantastic. You know, the movie is what it is. You know what I mean? There doesn't need to be what do you call it? These incredible think pieces or arguments and stuff like that. It's very direct and very forward. You know what I mean? Greta Gerwig is talking to the audience directly in a lot of these cases. You know what I mean? In a lot of the movie and stuff like that. So yeah.
A lot of the complaints that I'm getting, and this is from men and women, from the Republicans and from the conservatives and the liberals, is that the movie, the main complaint I hear is the movie doesn't know what it's trying to be, right? Because watching the movie, even I kind of noticed this. Even watching the movie says a lot. There's a lot of things it says, right?
Yeah.
And I think once again, people are so focused on the plot that they expect every single thing to be addressed. No, that's not how it always has to be.
Yeah.
The writers, directors, they can plant things into the movie just to plant it there, right? If you want to think more about that plot point, go ahead. But that's not what this movie is, right?
And also to this point and stuff like that, since you mentioned, also I do believe a movie with a single writer, a director, and also I'm sorry, she wrote a co-writ
With her husband.
with her husband and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I do believe a chore or like a personal work like this can be messy. You know what I mean? She doesn't. Why do people assume a movie has the answers to
Everything.
the questions that it poses?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
The thing is, if you look at Greta Gerwig and her husband, you know, they have a very independent spirit. You see any of the interviews, they'll mention movies that go back. You know, they know cinema and stuff like that. They know what independent movies are, what individual movies are, like Fellini movies and stuff like that. But they also know blockbuster movies and stuff like that. But they also know this is a commercial Barbie IP and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is there are very individual singular artists working in a budget a movie of a $150 million budget, a commercial thing. You know what I mean? Why would people assume they know the answer? They're probably trying to figure out in real time. You know what I mean? You could relate to this in the sense that, hey, I think the people on this podcast are very moral, very kind of like they want to do progressive right things. But you know what? We all live in a real world. We all drive cars that give off gasoline that convert to carbon pollution of that. We're using iPhones that's made by kids and stuff like that. You know what I mean? All of our stuff in our house is made in China, right? And you know their labor practices. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, that's in a way kind of like what I'm trying to relate that to, like the creation of this movie. You know what I mean? It's trying to make art out of real world, like, hey, commerce, you know, big budget. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, it can be messy. It's fine. You know?
You and your tangents. I'm just addressing some of the criticism that I hear where people are going like, oh well, there are minority Barbies in the movie, but they don't really do anything with them. Maybe they're just there literally to be there, just for representative reasons.
Oh,
And
but that's not true.
And
The
some
per-
people,
main
and some people, wait, hold on. And some people have issues with just, why bother putting a Filipino Barbie there if you're not going to address the fact that she's Filipina and you're not going to have her be part of the actual main story. She's just in the
That's
background.
not. you can't make up another movie, the movie that you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you watch it, that's not how art works and stuff like that. The main protagonist of the movie that takes over the movie in the middle of the movie is America Ferrera. You know what I mean? There's no question about that. You know what I mean? So yeah, the thing is, on all the other ones are the other Barbies that are shown, the bigger one, the trans one, and all that stuff. They're not literally supposed to be like literal people. You know what I mean? Just like the toy itself, the Barbie toy itself, the kids, the children of the world put inject themselves into you know what I mean? They see themselves through those Barbie characters and stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they're not supposed to be like literal people and stuff or like literal storylines. You know, you're supposed the audience members are supposed to fuse themselves into those Barbies. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I
But
don't know.
but
How do you explain art to people?
no,
You
but
know?
that's the thing though. I think this is the part where people act like they have critical thinking, but they don't have critical thinking because
Yeah.
they're criticizing the thinking too much. If that makes sense
Yeah.
to you guys, but it seems like they're so and there are some links in the show notes where there are people who have this point of views and believe, and they're actually even women. Okay, so my point is that they're trying to overanalyze a movie that doesn't need to be overanalyzed, and this is an ongoing problem I've had in the past years, where and partly because of the MCU where people try to dissect things too much. It's like they can't just let it go and just accept it for just being there for other things to happen. Like they're it's like there's a lot of like, why introduce that aspect to the story if they're not gonna do anything with it? Well, I mean, it's there, and the fact that you're talking about it is it doing something. It's making you think about that. Anna, do you have any thoughts about this?
I think I need to watch it again.
I actually feel like I need to watch it again because like I said, the movie's very dense. A lot of things happen in the movie. A lot of things are said in the movie, and I almost kind of want to jot them all down. But at the same time, the
I
movie.
mean, I thought I was just like Life 5 by Tyra Banks
Well,
movie, the
well,
Disney Channel movie. So that's all you get from me. I got nothing.
but I also kind of like the fact that the movie is pretty surreal. Like there are stuff in the movie where it's like it's kind of like it's its own reality. The real world is not even the real world. It's kind of like not. It's like a mix of. It's very surreal, right? And I think that kind of helps the fact that the narrative does introduce many different aspects that aren't explained, and part of that is because you're supposed to pick out what you want from that, and then think about it afterwards. The movie doesn't have to explain everything to you guys. Is what I'm saying. But yeah, and it is the
My
reason why
point
I'm
is,
thinking so.
my point is the audience. This involves like literacy when it comes to like watching movies and or in general and stuff like that. The thing is, people have really low expectations of themselves. You know what I mean? At some point, the audience member have to bring life experience, literacy. You know what I mean? Into when you're watching art. You know what I mean? Art is not something that just kind of just washes over you and stuff like that. You have to kind of engage into it. You know what I mean? So I'll just mention like the first 5 minutes of the movie sets up the reality and the rules and stuff like that. You know, with the Lizzo voiceover, with Barbie kind of like going through her morning, but there's an artificial reality to it. You know what I mean? She's taking a shower, but water doesn't come down. She's eating, but there's no actual food and stuff like that. And plus the Lizzo voiceover, that kind of sets up the rules and stuff like that. So people have to start judging the movie based on these kind of rules and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I said before, all these kind of like different Barbies are introduced, also the Kens and stuff like that. They're not supposed to be like taken literally. There's a huge spectrum, you know what I mean, of Kens and Barbies and stuff like that. They're not supposed to be taken like, hey, they're gonna have individual story arcs, or you know what I mean. But
That's
but they represent the audience. You know what I mean? The audience just should see themselves in those kind of Kens and Barbies and fuse themselves. You know what I mean?
well,
So I don't
those
know.
those complaints I
Wh-
hear less of though. Those kind of complaints where it's strictly about the plot, I hear less of. Like there, like I
Mhm.
know, like I heard somebody say like how come Barbie is changing, and what does that have to do with America Ferrera's character? I mean that kind of should be obvious if you're really
Yeah.
watching the movie, right? But that's a plot thing. What
Mhm.
I'm saying is people are complaining about the movie introducing like oh look the girls are calling Barbie a fascist, but that's the only thing about the part of the movie that actually even deals with that. Like, could you expand on it? It's exactly what people are saying. The movie's introducing all this stuff, but they're not expanding on it. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
They want to
But
be
the thing is,
told things. They want to be
but the thing is,
they want to be reassured about what they're thinking, because they're like, "Hey, I'm smart. I want you to acknowledge that I'm smart as well by telling me that I'm smart." It's kind of the
yeah.
impression I get.
And here's the other thing too. When you see a movie and stuff like that, a movie thing, if they bring up different things and different kind of topics, you are more than welcome to be inspired by the movie. So after you see the movie, you can literally go out into the real world and look things up. You know what I mean? You talked about feminism earlier. You can literally Google feminism and they'll give you a bunch of book recommendations. You know what I mean? There's actually you can do a deeper dive and stuff like that on a lot of these topics. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? A movie, the thing is, and let's go back to literacy when it comes to movies, it's just supposed to evoke emotion. That's what it's supposed to do. A movie are usually 2 hours. That's all it's supposed to do. They have characters, stories, they have art, and they evoke a feeling in you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
Some
I know
stuff
what you
that
mean.
you're looking, some of the other stuff that you're looking for. Hey man, there's such things as books. You know what I mean? There's TV shows that have longer time to explore these things. You know what I mean? This is a 2 hour big budget popcorn movie about Barbie. It gets some dick and fart jokes in there. You know what I mean? It had some very smart and clever points. You know what I mean? It has a devastating Zack Snyder joke, a Godfather joke that's hilarious. You know what I mean? So yeah, come on. What are we talking about?
Here, I'll end it with this other complaint, quote unquote complaint that I hear about. Like Barbie is supposed to be anti-patriarchy, the movie that is, right? But at the very end, the Barbies took over the Barbie land anyway, and the Kens are once again more or less the second class citizen. Again, if the movie is supposed to be anti-patriarchy or anti-people in power over other people, then why did the movie end with Barbie land being status quo and there wasn't any really change?
No, it wasn't that. Didn't they say the Kens get one judge, one appellate judge or something like that?
No, they say that could happen. If I remember correctly, Anna, you were the one to watch it the most recently. If I remember correctly, at the very end, everything is status quo except for the fact that Barbie told the Kens, "Hey, you guys are Kenough. You guys are enough. You don't have to be Barbie and Ken. And heck, if you work hard enough, you too can have like an appellate judge. You can be president." Which is like the flip of the real world, and it's in Barbie land. But if they did it in Barbie land, are they saying that that's how it's supposed to be in the real world too? It's like it's kind of like people are saying like it's missing its own message by having the ending be like that. Thoughts? Nothing really.
I mean, change doesn't happen overnight. Rome wasn't built in one day.
Okay.
So,
all right.
And do they
I
really
don't know. I mean,
and do they
I'm
believe
not
that Greta
smart.
Gerwig in this movie about Barbie is like a political statement? This is like this is
This
her
is too
Mein Kampf.
Well,
This is her Mein Kampf.
yes,
This is her what good?
That is how
Yes.
that is how some people see Greta Gerwig.
This is a communist manifesto and stuff like that. This is a call to action, stuff like that. Is that what we're going with this? Is that how serious?
Well,
we're
that's
taking
how
it, stuff like
people
that?
are interpreting that. My interpretation
Well-
for that scene, though, let girls have their own thing, right?
Yeah,
Barbie
yeah.
Land is for the girls. It's for the women, right? If their world has them be in charge,
Yeah.
let it be.
Yeah.
The guys don't have to change that. That's how they are.
Yeah.
They can go build their own Ken land.
Exactly. That's the message I got from that. But a lot of people
also-
don't seem to get that.
And also, in the real world, chicks don't have the right to abortion. The Supreme Court shut that down, right? I mean, they're one of
Yeah.
the things to worry about. They're actual real world things
Yeah.
to worry about. You know what I mean?
That's-
I know.
There's
and-
real things going on.
And I think that's
It's
the
fine,
message of Barbie Land going back to the status quo. Is just that
Yeah.
they have their own thing. You don't have to change it. That's their thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
so never mind all this stuff. All this stuff is nonsense and stuff. But let me try and mention a couple, to me, are valid criticisms that I had of the movie. See if you guys agree and stuff like that. I mentioned earlier that this movie is very like kind of tells you exactly what it is. You know what I mean? It's very like hey with its message. The only couple times where it actually hurts the movie is like in the real world when Barbie is visiting the little daughter and stuff like that. Right before they have the confrontation and stuff like that, one of the other kids in the middle school warns Barbie, Margot Robbie, like, hey, you don't want to talk to her because she's you know what I mean? She's giving all these character traits. I'm like, why do you have this character telling you this when in the next scene you'll be able to see all that. You know what I mean? It just seems like kind of weird. That's a weird scene. You know what I mean? Number one. Number two, I thought the stuff with Will Ferrell was fine for what it is, but then he kept hanging around in the movie. You know what I mean? He kept hanging around in the real world, and then he went to Barbie Land, and I just don't know where that thing was going. Like I don't. I thought it just that one didn't seem fleshed out, and the car chase didn't really work. That seemed like one of the things like, hey, someone else directed. You know what I mean? And she didn't have a hand in that. That's another criticism I have. And I thought the very end with Barbie and when she becomes like a real girl and stuff like that, when she meets her creator and stuff like that, you know what I mean? I thought that thing went on for too long, and I thought it was also a little anticlimactic. You know what I mean? I thought the apex of the movie was with America Ferrera and Barbie, and also Ken's song. You know what I mean? So those are the things that I actually don't think works. That I think are valid criticisms. What do you guys think?
Is no one going to talk about how Margot Robbie, like her Australian accent, comes out in the middle of her talking to her in the end and all that? And I'm like, was that intentional?
It could be intentional because she's not. She's not Barbie anymore, right? She's turning human.
Yeah, I don't know.
Could be.
I'm horrible with accents, so I didn't get that point. But to me,
it really bothered me.
To me, those are the kind of like the valid criticisms that I think that I know I have of the movie and stuff. The stuff in the real world just didn't really work out, and some of the stuff I mentioned.
I thought Margot Robbie looked too old to be Barbie.
That's ageism.
Right. I mean that's crossed my mind too. But in terms of like,
wow, you two are horrible.
Yeah, no, I mean people.
I also don't like Margot Robbie. So
what's the age of Barbie? In your mind's eye, what's the age of Barbie?
I don't know. 20 somethings. 20 somethings. Yeah. People have also said Ryan Gosling is too old for Ken, so that argument's there too, right? But
but he looked good.
Yeah, he looked good, and they were.
You guys are absolutely terrible.
I'm just saying, it's like that's a preference. That's all. Okay.
Margot Robbie's 33. So if you're saying Barbie's 20 something, it could be late 20s that she's only 3 years older.
Margot Robbie is not 33. She is lying about her age.
She is 30. Oh, you guys are
she
just terrible.
She is lying about her late age. I'm sorry.
Just imagine her. Just again, these are imaginary characters and stuff like that. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
No, Barbie is 24. Margot Robbie is lying about her age, but we already know that.
1959, so she's at least 70. What do you think of that?
Oh, but she looks great for 70.
Jesus Christ!
All right, so
I'm just here to irritate one of our listeners.
Yeah. So to end this conversation, I mean, to end it, I don't know if you guys want to continue. I'll ask you this question: Does the last scene work for you guys? The big reveal, the first thing she does when she turns to human, does that work for you? That the first thing she does is go to a gynecologist.
Yeah, that's a good joke. It's a good way to end it. Yeah.
Okay,
I like it.
Anna?
No, I think they should have ended it before that.
They should have ended it before that. So basically, she turns human and then cut to black?
Something. I don't know. I don't think that... I don't know. I thought she was going to go for her first day at work.
Yeah, that's what everybody thinks, yeah.
No, but that is the joke, though, right? That is the joke. Like, you assume that, she's going to be going to work as a human. You know, just... But then it turns out that she's going to gyno. The thing is, though, is that a lot of people don't get that it's a joke, though, and that kind of like surprises me because for the longest time that I've known, what's the joke? The joke is that the dolls don't have genitals.
Yeah,
she's a human now.
Oh,
so she has.
She's gonna go get that checked out. That's propaganda to go to the doctor.
See, I've heard a complaint from women about this movie. Oh wow, that's how they're gonna end it. Oh, she's a human. She's a human now. She's a woman now. Oh, she's gonna go to a gynecologist. Like I've heard
the first thing she's going to do. Okay?
So the other part of it is like, hey, it's wonderful. It's this idealism, like, oh, it's wonderful to be a real human and stuff like that. But to be a woman, to have agency in your life. But also, it comes with the flip side. The flip side is, yeah, you a normal amount of time is going to a gynecologist, making appointments with a gynecologist and stuff like that.
It's a joke. Why are we overtaking it? It's a joke.
No.
It's a bit like, I guess it is fairy tale land because, you got an appointment, you got health insurance. Come on, girl.
Yeah. But also, no, on the flip side, I've heard people on podcasts, chicks on podcasts, like, yeah, there's a surprising amount of time is revolved around going to a gynecologist because it's hard to make an appointment. Not a lot of doctors go into the field of gynecology, and gynecologists themselves, they don't see you unless you're pregnant and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
hard. It's one of the hardships of being of girl.
This is
Why
true.
why can't it just be a simple joke? The
But
dolls
what's
don't
the
have
joke? I don't get the
the
joke. I don't.
dolls
I
don't
just
dolls do not Barbie and Ken do not have genitals.
I
Even
know,
Barbie
but you
mentioned that he
you're
doesn't have a
telling me
penis.
she was very excited to
you-
go to the gynecologist.
but you also recognize it could be more than one thing. It could be a joke. And Anna
Absolutely.
just
Absolutely.
but Anna just confirmed what I just said. Though it's hard to make an appointment to see a gynecologist as a woman. Some of that, it's
You're
it
not
could be
gonna
more
see
there.
the doctor for like
Unless
6
you're
months,
pregnant,
As-
or a year.
I'm guessing here, but I'm generalizing here. As a director or as a writer, would I want the last thing to be in the movie to be that kind of political statement or that kind of social
No.
It's not a
commentary
political statement.
or
It's
social
just a statement.
commentary?
It's just
not.
a fact of life.
It's not. It was a weird way to end the movie. It was a
Agreed.
perfect movie
It was
until
weird.
the end.
It was weird,
It was.
but I get the
I don't-
joke. Dolls
don't think
don't
the
have
joke- I don't-
okay.
Don't mansplain this to
Yeah.
me. Don't, Albert. No, it was a stupid.
Yeah.
It was like man writing women joke. That's what it was. That's what it felt like. It felt like something a man would write.
I've heard that complaint, and I'm looking at it through the fact that it's a Barbie movie, and Barbie and Ken do not have genitals. She's
I know.
She's a human now.
No.
Now she
The thing
does.
is, people know that. They set up that joke earlier with Ken
Clearly.
and Barbie not mentioned. They set that up.
Albert.
I know, but again, multiple things can be true at once.
Yeah.
Multiple
the-
things could be true at once. But remember, this is also directed by a woman and co-written by a woman.
Exactly. And there's-
Co-written. So who was the other co-writer? The man who
dude,
wrote that last scene.
Yeah, and
Was he the one that wrote the last scene?
They're married.
I don't know.
I don't think either one is writing something that the other one doesn't get approved of. The co-writers, they're married and stuff like
I
that.
think it was out of touch. I think it was very
Yeah.
tone deaf. I think it was something that a man would write
Yeah.
in the million books and everything.
Everybody has their own read on it and stuff like that. But I think it's a multiple layered. It's a joke about genitals. It's also about normalizing something. It's like it can be multiple things. The thing is, what do you call it? That's what art is. You just interpret in different ways. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what's a big deal.
It felt like two men were talking to me about Barbie.
Yes, Anna, you could have chimed in multiple times.
How can I? When
Yeah.
apparently you guys have very strong feelings about
I don't want
Barbie.
to. I don't
Jive
want to mansplain your own podcast. What you said in this podcast, but I'll explain to you. You said, "Hey, I don't have that much thoughts on this movie. I don't have that much. I don't have a big read on it."
You
I
did
didn't
say
have-
that, Anna. You did say that.
I did say that. I
Yeah.
did say that because you guys apparently had a lot of feelings about it.
And last I
just-
checked 12 hours ago or whatever, I did mention that we are going to be talking about Barbie.
Yeah. I was.
I
standing by my point.
didn't think
This
it was
movie-
going to be this deep. I thought it was just going to be, did we like Barbie's outfits?
No, that's not what it would have been.
This movie
I
is
love
very
Barbie's
direct, but it has a
outfits.
lot of things going on
Did
at
we
the
like
same
the
time.
soundtrack?
Say, oh, I love
Soundtrack's
this.
really
I
good.
love the soundtrack.
Did you like?
Yeah.
Did
Um,
we like Barbie's Dream House?
I
Because
did. I
liked
did
it.
also say that this wasn't going to be a review of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I kind of
There you go.
ambushed you guys in the fact that I want to talk about the teams. I think Jiaming gets more of what I probably went for because I normally
Mm-hmm.
do the reviews with Jiaming, and I'm all about like what's the theme of the movie. So, but yeah,
You should have told me not to be
Yeah.
on this episode.
Honestly,
you
some of
should
the
be
more-
on this episode. You and Ruthie should have been in the episode.
Well, you know what? This became a mansplaining
Yeah.
Albert.
It's not mansplaining.
Jiaming.
I'm gonna defend Albert and say,
Can't
man,
explain it.
for the first time ever, they made a movie for chicks, and you guys don't want to review the movie. I don't get it. You know what I mean?
That's
They made
true.
they made this movie specifically for you guys.
I
You don't
think-
have hot takes.
I think Ruthie
You know what
and
I
I should have been the ones
Yeah,
to talk about
seriously.
this only.
No,
apparently,
that
apparently
I would have been
Albert and
okay
I
with
have
that.
Hot takes on the
Remember, if
somehow.
my defense, I wouldn't call it mansplaining because I'm explaining my thoughts about the movie. I'm not telling you what to think about the movie.
Albert's lady.
Albert's playing, sure, Albert's playing.
Yeah.
But it's like
Albert's
it's like I'm sharing my thoughts about the movie,
Yeah.
reacting to
Yeah.
what other people thought about the movie. I don't
Mhm.
know if that would classify as mansplaining. You know,
Who knew we have such hot takes about Vag joke idea? How about that?
I know, right? Yeah,
The hot takes.
yeah.
Honestly, here's the other thing. The thing I'm kind of more interested about, never mind the online, because it's again, I don't think the stuff online is like done in good faith. The thing I'm more interested in right now is like, how high the box office is going to go. Will it get nominated for a Best Academy Award?
I doubt
Who's
it.
going to get nominated for Best Actress and Best Supporting Actor? I think both Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling are sure in.
Yeah.
I think I Am Ken should be nominated and win for Best Song and stuff like that.
Yes.
And they'll definitely, I think, win for set design and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Costuming and stuff.
absolutely.
Yeah, those are the things I'm kind of interested in: box office
Yeah.
success and Academy Award success and stuff like
See,
that.
those ones I'm not as interested in. I mean, I'm interested, sure, but not enough for me to really talk about it. That's
Oh,
the thing.
it's absolutely fascinating to me.
And-
This is a
and-
big.
and
It's going to be another one of those biggest. Is the Academy going to match the nominations with the box office success, or are they going to go artsy fartsy and, you know what I mean, nominate
Well,
past lives?
but this
You know what I mean?
but this has always been the argument about that, and I'm over that. But the reason, and I'm gonna push back. I'm gonna push back on the whole online commentary thing, because not all the online commentary is in bad faith. Like, because I listen to certain critics and reviewers and whatnot who have shared their negative reactions to Barbie, and those are people I
Well, they're
respect.
bad. Well,
Okay?
they're bad takes. Then. If they're not in good faith, they're bad takes and stuff. They should watch more movies. And also, the thing I'm interested in, the reason why I'm interested in the Academy Awards of it all and stuff like that. I mean, say what you will about like all the previous nominations and stuff like that, but this is the one I can think of off the top of my head that's specifically directed and written by a female. You know what I mean? All the other Academy's Award history, whatever, you can brush it off, whatever you say you're not interested. But at the end of the day, this is still directed and co-written by a woman. You know what I mean? To see how many nominations it gets will be absolutely fascinating.
Nominations, yes. Wins, I don't know, dude. I really don't know,
Wins are low.
because the Academy loves historical period dramas like Oppenheimer.
Oh, here comes Napoleon.
Yeah,
Here
no,
comes Napoleon.
he's Oppenheimer.
Here comes Oppenheimer.
Oh,
Here
Oppenheimer-
comes Killers of
oh,
Flowers.
Oppenheimer is more of an Oscar bait movie than Barbie is.
Mm.
Come on, you can't.
But
deny
that's the other thing that
right?
fascinates me. The other thing that's fascinating is the two movies coming out together, Oppenheimer's success. That's all interesting to me too.
Oh, you know one thing that I didn't realize until I read an article about it. Apparently, the Japanese are very annoyed with the Barbenheimer thing. Like they said, you guys
Wow.
can talk about Barbie, but can you tone it down a bit on the Oppenheimer thing?
It's a bit much. I can imagine they have feelings. There is a certain segment online that's sort of re-elegating. We're talking about the if America was in the right to drop the two bombs. There is being
Revisited.
kind of argued, revisited and stuff like that. So it's interesting. It's interesting how quickly or how fervently people are defending the dropping of two atomic bombs that killed men and women, children, civilians.
But
Yeah.
but the message of the movie was we were wrong to do that. That was the message of that movie.
Well, I don't know if it was ultimately wrong, but it was poorly decided. It shouldn't be decided by a bunch of dudes that were so distant from it, and then they were so flip about it, so quickly about it.
That
You know
was
what I mean?
that was the message of the movie, though.
Yeah. That's
Hold up. I'm going to go see the movie tomorrow. So hold on.
I'm sorry for spoilers for real life, but yes.
Hold on. What the heck?
Okay. Anyway,
Oppenheimer. It's actually a movie. Real quick, I do believe it's getting better in my head than when I first initially saw it.
Wow.
I
It's still not a great movie though. I still wouldn't put it in my top 10.
it's a flawed movie.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say
This is not a spoiler. This is not.
I don't want to hear it.
There's
This
no
is not a
spoiler.
spo-
There's no
this-
spoiler. No
This
spoiler.
this is not a spoiler. My only thing with Christopher Nolan is like he needs someone else to write his dialogue. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He's not exactly writing poetry over there. You know what I mean? In terms of like dialogue, like people talking to each other, speaking in a certain elegance and sort of a lovely way. The high point of this year is probably Past Lives. The low point of a big kind of profile movie is probably Oppenheimer. You know what I mean? It's like just like I don't like his dialogue. It's just too stiff. That's not a spoiler.
Oh, and you just reminded me. I would much prefer Past Lives winning Best Picture next year. So
Oh yeah,
There's that.
absolutely. But Oppenheimer is growing a little bit better in my head as far as like me thinking about it, me reading other people's thoughts about it and stuff like that.
right.
Anyway,
Oh, and Anna, I'm not sure if I mentioned this to you. I think I mentioned this to you in Comic Con. When you watch Oppenheimer, the
make sure you pee first.
the scenes in black and white is supposed to designate that you're looking at the perspective from Robert Downey Jr.'s character. Okay, just remember that. When it turns black and white, it's from his perspective. When it's in color, it's from Oppenheimer's perspective. Just remember that when you watch Oppenheimer.
You told me that. Yes.
I
Thank
did.
you for the
Okay,
refresher.
yes.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people it went over their heads. Like they don't
Okay.
understand. They thought it was just like past and future. No. That's not how it works. So
Again, this goes back to Barbie. People need to be a little bit more literate when it comes to like watching movies and experiencing art. It's not that hard to figure out. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot of things. I'm not saying I'm particularly smart, but that part you can kind of figure out. It's like, hey, black and white, Robert Downey Jr., color.
you'll be
Oppenheimer.
surprised how many
Yeah.
people didn't get that.
Yeah, people are dumb.
No, but that's the thing though. I think a lot of people. I guess this comes down to again to the whole point of this episode.
People are dumb.
I'm kind of getting tired of a lot of people acting like they're so smart and intellectual and with their critical thinking about the movies they watch, and then they act like they're not. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm smart, but I have certain takes on movies. So and then but I'm also at the point where I also understand that I'm not always correct either. So, and a lot of people it just seems so damn indignant about the fact that their perspective is right.
Yeah.
So there's that.
You see boobies in Oppenheimer, which is quite a thrill.
All right,
Good
thanks
Lord.
for listening. My name is Albert.
You see more boobies in Oppenheimer than in Barbie. Can you believe that? Going in, you would go like, "Hey, maybe I'll catch a side boob in Barbie. Maybe I'll catch a side boob in Barbie," but not so much.
I'm literally not surprised. Oppenheimer is,
Yeah.
is directed by a guy, written by a guy. Barbie is directed by a woman, co-written by a woman. I would actually wouldn't see boobs in Barbie.
Yeah, not even Ryan Gosling's butt cheeks shows up in Barbie. How disappointing is that? Good Lord.
Okay then. Thanks for listening. My name is Albert. You can find me on Instagram and Threads at Albert5x5.
You can find me on Twitter, JIAMINTLOU.
You can find me on social media at Anna Voltage or on my other shows, Pop Prison Power, Most Extreme Ranking Challenge.
Music has been provided by Gloomy June. Contact info, ways to support us, and everything else is on the show notes found on whowhatwhereswhy.com. This was episode 688 of the Stuff and Junk Show. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, this podcast has been a Who What Where's Why production. Now, serious question. Would you guys hate me if I go watch Sound of Freedom?
Yes.